Is the swim team in the building? I said, is the swim team in the building? Let's drown these and get these gold medals. Squad! Alright, swim team. Super Saiyan Laz is in the building. Okay, I don't even want to hear it. I killed it. I done turned Super Saiyan in front, y'all. It's a wrap. Okay, I'm a swim team Super Saiyan. I almost didn't give y'all a video today. That would have been messed up. We got new members of the swim team. Now, if you're an old member and you're a new member, you gotta hit that notification bell so you know when your boy upload. Y'all peep that Atlanta jacket. This joint kind of flea. Y'all see my beard going crazy? Punjabi Laz is in the building. Yes. Today's video, bro, is basically gonna be a story time. If you're new to the channel, I do vlogs, hair tutorials, and I tell stories. Sometimes I mix them together. You might get a vlog with a hair tutorial and a story. Or you might get a vlog and a story, or you might get a brush session with a story. You know, it just depends how I'm feeling. Today I'm just gonna sit my ass down in front of the green screen and tell the story. This story is very touching. I might cry. I don't know. You know, I might get emotional. So I'm one of those people. I put other people in front of me. Like, I put other people's feelings in front of me. Now, you can't live your life doing that. You can't put other people's feelings in front of you, because then it's like you're not really looking out for yourself. I grew up doing that. I care what people think. I might go out of my way and inconvenience myself to make sure that somebody's feelings don't get hurt. Like, that's the type of person I am. Now, with that being said, I'm also like a really giving person. Believe it or not, you know, somebody from Brooklyn is giving. Now, they say Brooklyn people are very selfish. Even though I try to have selfish ways, I'm not really selfish. I've been trying to figure out where I got that from, and I feel as though I got it from my grandfather. Now, before I moved to New York, I used to live with my grandparents on this small island called Grenada. A lot of people don't know about Grenada. If you know about Trinidad, then Grenada is sort of kind of right next to Trinidad. When I lived with my grandparents, I was bad. I wasn't rude, but I was still bad. I used to run away a lot. Now imagine me, I'm like 5, 6 years old. My grandparents didn't know where I'm at. I'm like basically traveling the whole country in chancletas. You feel me? Like, I used to be going everywhere. The country, you could drive around the country in like 4 hours. Me, I used to just walk around, take buses, go to different parts of the country, then take a bus, come back. Like, I used to be wilding. And mind you, I'm like 6 years old doing this type of stuff. Alright, now the crazy thing about that is at night, my grandfather used to have to come look for me. Now, my grandfather is probably in his 70s at this point. And imagine a 70-year-old man have to leave his house at 9 o'clock at night to go look for his grandson. And he don't know where the hell his grandson could be. I'm going to give y'all a little story. One night, I was out hanging out with some friends. And, like, they knew when my grandfather was coming down. My grandfather used to come down with the switch. And he used to have the flashlight, because they don't have no street lights in Grenada back then. So he used to have a flashlight. And he used to be... So every time somebody seen the flashlight, they knew that my grandfather was coming. So they'd be like, hey. They used to call him Colomb. So they'd be like, hey, that's Colomb. So one night, bro, my grandfather was coming with the flashlight, and I knew he had the switch, right? So, like, when they start telling me that, oh, yo, they go your grandfather, I climbed up a tree. Bro. And my grandfather came. He walked past the tree. He was standing under the tree, and I'm there looking at him. And he's there with his flashlight shining it in the different kids' faces. And I'm on the tree like, yo, I hope I don't fall. I hope it ain't no snakes up here. Oh my God, bruh. I was a bad youth, bro. I can't lie. But as far as giving, I got that from my grandfather. My grandfather used to donate, like, majority of the money he made from when he went to farm to the church. The way he made money, he harvested like fruits and stuff. So mangoes, soursop, green banana. He like harvested all those things, and then once a week a truck would pass by and they'll pick up the fruits and the vegetables and stuff, and then they would pay him. Okay, compared to the salaries out in the United States and Grenada, it wasn't that much, but it was enough to keep us sustainable. Let's say my grandfather made like $500 or so for that week or 2 weeks or whatever. He would donate about 400 of that to the church. Like, that's the type of person he was. Like, it's been said that my grandfather probably single-handedly built the goddamn church in our neighborhood with his donations, because he used to just donate money, right? Now, the messed up part about that is that when he passed away, that church, my family was having a difficult time trying to come to an arrangement to get my grandfather his home going at that church. I don't see how, when he was like the main person giving y'all money to help build the church. But we not going, that's another story for another time. Growing up, I could remember my grandfather doing something for my school. A lot of people in Grenada aren't rich, you know. A lot of them don't have jobs, so a lot of them have a hard time with money, hard time feeding their family. And I remember back in the day when I remember back in the day when I used to go to school. At lunchtime, my grandfather used to go to his land, and he would pick fruits. He would pick fruits, and then he would bring him in front the field on the school, and he would just leave him there so that the kids who didn't have lunch would have something to eat. Like, I remember that. But I also remembered how selfish I was, because I knew my grandfather did that, and it was kids that I didn't like. So, like, I would stand there and, like, police the whole thing of fruits. Like, no, you can't have none. You can't have none. And then my grandfather would be like, you can't do that. Like, they don't have nothing to eat. Let them eat. Bro, I remember that, bro. Like, my grandfather was a really giving person, bro. I remember it had this dude that lived in our neighborhood that everybody thought was crazy. His name was like Embel or something like that. Everybody thought he was crazy, and nobody spoke to him. Nobody, like, his kids, people used to like shun away from his kids because they was just like, yo, they're dangerous. He even had a little incident where, you know, he is a dangerous fellow. Him and some guy got in a fight, and he like chopped the dude up. So he was a dangerous fellow, I'm not gonna lie. But somehow, bro, my grandfather found a way to become friends with this man. Like, this man and my grandfather they became friends, bro. I remember I used to get bullied in school after my grandfather and this man became friends. This man's sons used to be like, yo, leave him alone. Like, I had personal bodyguards, bro. I remember that. I also remember that the fruits that this man made in his backyard, every week he would bring like a big ass watermelon, like this big. He would bring it for my grandfather. It should be the sweetest watermelon in the world. I'm not gonna lie. Those watermelons were so sweet. But my grandfather had a way to like bring people together, man. That was my man's, dog. Now, I want to tell a story about my grandmother. So, like, the way I'm going to end this story is kind of how I'm going to begin the story I tell about my grandmother. So my grandfather ended up passing away. He died of a heart attack when I was 12 or 13 years old, something like that. I was already in America, so we had to like fly back so we could make the funeral. My grandmother, so she lived by herself now in the house. She had her friends that would come and they would talk to her. But over time, my grandmother's diabetic, so over time, like her health kind of went down. Okay, now she's by herself. She started going blind. She came to America about twice to have surgery on her eyes. It made it better for a little bit, but then she ended up going completely blind. Now, last year I met my grandmother, and that was my first time seeing her blind. And I'm going to tell a story about that. But is my son crying? Or is that somebody singing? What the hell? Oh man, alright, so Big Man was over there going off. We talking to the camera. Come on. Why are you dropping the pacifier, huh? Shh. Alright, so yeah, last year was my first time seeing my grandmother blind. I'm gonna tell the story on that. Okay. Now, with my grandfather passing, and the fact that my grandfather used to feed like a lot of those people in that neighborhood when they were younger as kids and they didn't have any food to eat. Fast forward 20 years later when the hurricane hit.